Sometimes the Supreme Court gets it right, and in a rarity, leveling a historic 9-0 decision, SCOTUS just sidestepped 2 major cases concerning partisan gerrymandering. This allows controversial district maps to stand and be used in this fall's midterm elections just the way they are. That's great news for Republicans, and Democrats are incensed over it. They had their hearts set on redistricting voting districts, i.e., partisan gerrymandering. They will literally do anything to steal an election, which includes gerrymandering, having the dead vote, and recruiting illegal aliens and refugees to vote. Those are just a few of their favorite tricks. You have to ask yourself, if Dems are willing to illegally and unethically unseat a sitting president simply because he is a Republican and they don't like him, how far will they go to rig an election? As far as they can possibly get away with. Sometimes with the help of government agencies, they bend the rules just as far as they can, and had planned to do so in the midterms as well. Their blue wave is more of a drip, and now this. Things are just not looking good for leftists in the upcoming elections. This decision is a huge one from SCOTUS, CNN reported. The Supreme Court on Monday sidestepped 2 major cases concerning partisan gerrymandering, allowing controversial district maps to stand and be used in this fall's midterm elections. The 9-0 ruling, authored by Chief Justice John Roberts in the Wisconsin case, is a blow to Democrats who argued the Republican-drawn maps prevented fair and effective representation by diluting voters' influence and penalizing voters based on their political beliefs. Democrats won a challenge in a lower court, but the Supreme Court's decision on the Wisconsin case Monday will limit who can bring such cases in the future. A second case from Maryland involved the Republicans challenging a district map drawn by Democrats. The justices said that the lower court did not act improperly in leaving the map in place. In an unsigned opinion with no dissents, the justices said that the challengers failed to reach the high bar of showing irreparable harm that would be necessary for a preliminary injunction to block the map. Even if we assume, contrary to the findings of the district court, that plaintiffs were likely to succeed on the merits of their claims, the balance of equities and the public interest tilted against their request for a preliminary injunction, the court said. The court's opinion in the Maryland case means that for now, the justices will leave having to answer whether the court can set a standard for when politicians go too far in drawing lines to benefit one party over another for another day. But it also makes it harder to bring it before the High Court. This issue is sure to come before the court again, however, and it is one of the reasons it is so important that President Trump select another constitutional originalist to sit on the court when the next vacancy comes up. For instance, Kennedy was seen as the swing vote on this case. Rumor has it he will retire sometime this summer and President Trump will fill his spot. This could solidly weigh the Supreme Court in favor of conservatives for the first time in many years. On Monday, Justice Anthony Kennedy stayed relatively silent. The last time the Supreme Court heard a major partisan gerrymandering case, in 2004, 4 conservative justices said the issue should be decided by the political branches, not the courts. But Kennedy was unwilling to bar all future claims of injury from partisan gerrymanders. That stance may soon be moot. It would seem a whole raft of rulings are going against Democrats and their manipulation of voting. Judges ruled this last week that you can wear clothing with political expressions to the voting booth. That's a win for free speech, something the left abhors. Democrats are always whining about how unfair the elections are, all the while trying to corrupt the voting process itself. For instance, trying to kill off voter ID. Lately, it hasn't been working for them, which makes me smile. This is nothing new for the left. They've been doing this for decades, where they try to gerrymander districts so Democrats can win more seats even though the majority don't want them there. When Republicans decided they had had enough and decided to turn the tables and give the Dems a bit of their own medicine, liberals had a meltdown. Unfortunately for the Dems, not all judges are liberal, and even the liberal justices on the Supreme Court elected to punt this one. It appears that Americans are going to give the left an even bigger boot in 2018 than they did in 2016. Good times. The Trump wave is still building, and it looks like it's going to crush the Democrats flat. In the meantime, expect the shrill whining from the left to intensify, as they know their time is short and they will fight every inch of the way, including cheating when it comes to elections.